along to another episode of Off the Leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. We're up to episode 18. Tony Bullen joins us again. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Let us know in the comments below that you're backing all of these winners, because Tony, here we are again, and it's getting a little bit boring because we're amongst the winners again. We landed the double last week too.
Yeah, we've paid the bills once again, Dave. We've been able to get another bit of fillet steak on the plate, and long may it continue.
Yours a little bit more comprehensive than mine, shall we say. Culavan in Mercy trapped out, led. I think she won by 7 or 8 lengths in the end. Mine a little bit more cosy, shall we say.
Yeah, the winners are winners, as we said last week. I think mine was a little bit fortunate, but you get the same money whether they win 10 or win by a narrow margin, Dave.
Absolutely. You get paid whether they win by an inch or a mile. Right. More Category 1 action to come this week. And we'll have a look back last week as well on the £10,000 at Ladbrokes Kent St Leger. Remember, all the big action live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service, Sky Sports Racing and Sky Sports Racing behind the red button. And before we get to Sheffield, we'll look back because 2 laps down at Crayford, 714 metres, £10,000. And it was the Ladbrokes Kent St Leger, 5 railers, 1 wide. We were keen on Dazzle Rolex, Tony, but it was, of course, Kunoff Crow who marched through undefeated in the Kent St Leger in really good style.
Yeah, she ran an absolute blinder. I did feel that she'd be denied the luxury of leading in the final, and she was, because Baywatch Bullet showed ferocious pace on the first circuit, but she's got stronger. We've mentioned it loads of times when she's been running, Dave. She really has got stronger in the second half of her career, and she really knuckled down to the task. I was expecting a surge from Dazzle Rolex. He didn't really finish as I expected. He ran on okay for second, but she was dogged and determined. Baywatch Bullet just failed to take the sting out of the strong runners, and Ballymac Taylor didn't really finish off great in the semi-finals. And I think the quick track don't really play to the strengths of the real marathon types, but all credit to Kuna Crow, ran an absolute stormer. Yeah,
I think dogged, tenacious, game, gutsy, all of these adjectives you want to use, and she was all of that. So a deserving winner. I mean, it's difficult to go through any Cat 1 undefeated, let alone 1 over 8 bends. So a deserving winner, Tony.
Yeah, and overcome the draw. Had to overcome the draw, had to dig deep, was denied the early advantage, and Connections must be delighted.
Yeah, and I think potential targets were probably near enough all 6 in that final, and everything that you saw in action, the Kent St Leger is probably going to be the Premier Ground Racing Regency, which gets underway, I think, in July down at Hove, 695 metres. I know Ricky Holloway laid off Dazzle Rolex for a crack at the Kent St Leger and then the Regency. So that's where you'll see that one next. And I think you'll probably see some familiar faces there as well. Right, we will now tackle the £10,000 Time Greyhound Nutrition 3 Steps to Victory final on Sunday. It's at Sheffield, and it's, of course, a tri-distance event. Very unique. 2 weeks ago, 480 metres for the first round heats. Last week, 3 semi-finals over 500 metres, and this week, 1 race, 1 final, 660 metres. So 3 semi-finals to get through last weekend, and we'll start with, it was the fastest winner. She was the fastest winner in the first round, and she was impressive again. It's, of course, Liz McNair's Queen Georgia, and she was in trap 4 here for the opener, 28.79 the winning time, and Nottingham Raider Noel's Milano was your other qualifier in trap 3, cut out all the running, but was brushed aside at the 3rd bend in some style here, Tony.
Yeah, she was impressive. I mean, I think a few people was amazed at the time she put up in the 480 metre leg after a little bit of an early bump, but she's really taken to track and trip. Obviously, with her reaching the final, she's been forced to withdraw from a potential tilt at the Derby, but when you're running for £10,000 for 1 race, that was a no-brainer. They was never going to withdraw her to run in the Derby. She's got it all. Now the big test. Will she stay 6 bends? We'll find out next weekend.
Yeah, no Connections fancy she'll stay strong. She was powering after the line as well, no signs of stopping. You know, should she get off the front, I think it would be a no-brainer that she'll get home. But she's not guaranteed the lead, but we'll get to the draw. Now we'll have a look at Acomb Irene for owner, breeder and trainer Kevin Ferguson. Impressive winner in the first round off the front. Impressive winner in the second round, the semi-finals off the front as well. She went from trap 5, 28.83. Savannah Heros, the Queen Mother Memorial Cup winner. That was over 660 metres. The Grand Prix runner-up as well. That was your other qualifier in trap 1. And this was Catch Me If You Can, and the line came in time.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old days, this, when the old flapping days, when you'd enter a dog for a competition, the finals over the longer distance, but you just nicking the first couple of rounds because you knew your dog probably wouldn't stay. In the case of Acre Myring, she was always going to be a handful over the 480, 500 metres and used her early pace to full effect. She's been a grand servant to Connection. She's got a great strike rate. The question is, will she stay? And this is the beauty of this event. You get a lot of early pace types reach the final, and the final's over 660. Savannah Heros ran an absolute blinder because I feared for him out in the middle, but he managed to ride his luck, turning the pitch and stay on for second.
Yeah, exactly. Black Jacket staying on there for second place. Right, so we'll move to the third semi-final. Then Claire Keith Remy in trap 3 was the winner. Finalist last year in this event as well. So back-to-back finals for the Hove Raider. 29 seconds on the clock. Milridge Tannick, St Leger finalist last year for Pat Curtin. Now with Chris Faraday in trap 6. Was a game effort really to hold off Farney's Willie, who caught the eye stand. I know you were sweet on. I thought a little bit unlucky here, but off the front was Claire Keith Remy.
Yeah, do I have to watch this again? I was absolutely devastated. I think Farney's Willie was unnatural not to book his place in the final. But that's the first two format. That's the hard luck story. That's sport. But Claire Keith Remy, again, he's been a grand servant to Connections. Done really well in competitions. He's reached the Kent Derby final in the past. He's very versatile. And as you say, he reached this, I think he was third or second in this event last year. Again, I'm not sure he's an out-and-out six-bend dog, but he's got the pace to put himself into contention at some stage. And Milridge Tannick, St Leger finalist last year, stayed on well out wide.
Right, so they were the 3 semi-finals, the first 2 going through. Remember, you'd be able to watch the feature race, the final, over 660 metres live on Sky Sports Racing behind the red button on Sunday. And we'll have a look at the draw on the betting now. 4:53 the time will be on Sunday at the Allerton circuit, and it'll be a lap and a half of the track, although the start is very crucial here, which we'll get onto because the traps are almost on top of the first bend, so the start's going to be crucial. But here is the draw. Savannah Heros, who's got winning form over course and distance, of course, won the Queen Mother Memorial Cup over that 660 metres. Diane Henry at 3-1. Queen Georgia, the favourite, she's as short as evens in some places, but as big as 11-8. Noel's Milano, 20-1. Claire Keith Remy, 8. Acre Myring, 9-2. Milridge Tannick at 10's the sole wide seed. I'm going to start, Tony, with the fact that I don't think Acre Myring is going to get home in a taxi. I think she's had one go over the 660 a couple of years ago because she's been on the go a while, and she led in quite moderate company and was fetched in late. She's in good company now, but she could be certainly a hindrance to one or two others because she's got that 4-bend speed.
Yeah, I think she's the key to the race, in fairness. Obviously, Queen Georgia, if Queen Georgia stays, then Queen Georgia's probably going to take the world of beating because of the times that she's put up over the 4 bends. But I think Acre Myring will be in the thick of things. Noel's Milano's another one that's sort of shown a bit of early. Shorter run to the bend, you're going to have to look lively. But yeah, I think this race sets up for Savannah Heros, who won the Queen Mother Memorial, runner-up in the Grand Prix. He's got a great makeup on the inside as well. I think he's going to have plenty of room to manoeuvre. He'll work into the race. It won't be crowd city, I don't feel, for Savannah Heros. Sometimes you can get caught behind a couple of dogs at Sheffield, but I don't think that'll be the case in this final. And I'm going to be with a proven stamina, Savannah Heros, to win this £10,000 3 steps to victory final.
Yeah, we've got the draw on the inside, of course. And as Tony rightly mentioned, short straights, long swooping or sweeping bends at Sheffield. So it's a really tough place to pass. You get off the front, you get onto that rail, and it can be a front runner's track. Now, 660 metres. I'm going to go with Queen Georgia here in trap 2 because, as we saw in the first round, she does have a start in her. Now, she's won her 2 4-bend races off the front, but if she can take the rail away from Savannah Heros around the first couple of turns, then I think she's showing that she'll stay strong enough. And even if she has to fetch in an Acre Myring or Noel's Milano, who of course she did last week, I think she can justify the favourites tag there. So conflicting views, myself and Tony. Let us know in the comments below who you fancy. Tony going for the top. I'm going for Queen Georgia, the favourite. But it's a fascinating one. Will they or won't they stay? Always the 3 steps to victory. So we're looking forward to that. Remember, Sunday afternoon on Sky Sports Racing behind the red button at Sheffield. Right, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we're on fire. So Tony's got the honour again because we're amongst the winners again. Best bet of the week, Tony, anywhere you like. We're recording this on Wednesday, so we've not got all the entries out for the rest of the week, but where are you off to?
Yeah, we've been hitting the fairway and having a good iron into the green. Last time I went to Romford, I tasted defeat. I've gone back to Romford. There's an interesting maiden over 6 bends. Miami Bullet, who came out of the 3 steps to victory semi-finals, was eliminated from that stage. I like this dog, and I think there's a couple of dogs in this race that will make the market. Joe Cigar, who's really found a rich vein of form at Hode in recent weeks, and you've got Danny's Gem, who made an impressive debut over the 400 metres. But I like Miami Bullet. I think he'll hold his position on the inside. He's got 35, 20, 30 written all over him. And anything near that mark, I think he wins this above average maiden. 8.36 at Romford, Dave.
Well, the upcoming Coronation Cup, that starts next week. So there's plenty of clues on the card at Romford tonight. However, I'm going to be over 4 bends at Romford because my best bet this week is at the London Road Circuit as well. 7.44, trap 6. On the comeback is New In Touch. Now, Mark Wallace has brought this one on very slowly. Sprint last week, went to the bend with Chop Chop Rainbow as the track record holder over the 2.25 at Romford. Chop Chop Rainbow just had that little bit extra speed into the corner and was away. But I thought it was a good effort from New In Touch. Now, races from trap 6 in the 7.44. 5 is vacant, loads of racing room, fast start, away and gone. So New In Touch for me. 2 good things at Romford on Friday night from myself and Tony. Thank you again for your expertise and your time, Tony. You're not going to be with us next week. We've got the Coronation Cup heats on Friday night. Glad to see you got the black memo as well. But yeah, it's a busy time. Obviously, the Ground Derby's kicking off. It's not on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service, so we're taking that in as well. But these Cat 1s on the PGR service just keep on coming.
Yeah, well, we don't want to be in the red, Dave. We always want to be in the black, and that's certainly anyone that's been following us. Everyone's wearing black. I've seen a lot of people walking away and wearing black, so they must be following us.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you for watching. Please do remember to gamble responsibly. You can take all the action in on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service behind that red button on Sky Sports Racing Sky channel. We'll see you next time.